I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Are there any public comments?
Madam Chair, no one has signed in, but we do have two guests. If they want to introduce themselves and if they have any comments.
Me? Guest? Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nancy Cadena. I'm here representing Webb County Judge Donna Tejerina. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
I'm Helen Stillman. I'm the director for AMA Methadone Clinic.
Staff, yes.
Hello, my name is Genesis Cardenas. I'm here on behalf of our behavioral health services and our HIV component.
Marco Elias, and I'm also here from the same department.
Both OPCs.
Thank you for your service.
No initials, no acronyms.
Licensed professional counselors.
Thank you. LPC, Laredo Professional, I don't know, what should we call it? What is a good word for C?
No, you're absolutely right, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, but I don't know all those little,
Yes.
I used to when I had to work. I'm retired. Thank you. Thank you for attending and thank you for your help, and we need all the help we can get. We got the minutes emailed to us by Dr. Gonzalez's office. Do I have a vote of approval?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We go on to discussion and possible action. A, summary of December strategic planning meeting.
Madam Chair, if I may, and the Assistant Chief can also join in, you all had a great strategic meeting in December. It was a special session. A lot of it is captured in the minutes, but a couple of the things that you asked us to do, and I'm glad Scan just came in, because it's gonna take all of us gathering more data that we already have to show the picture of the profile of what's happening in Laredo. Because we need to share this with our elected officials. Because to go toward your priority of the detox, we gotta get a picture. Now, we've already got some stats from stakeholders, from AMA, SCAN, Pillar, Gateway, Border Region, and some of the other agencies. So we've got some of what they're doing and some of their resources. They made good presentations throughout the year. Then LPD and us put together a mortality and as well arrest. That also is the other part, the law enforcement to this. With AMA, because there was a representative here at the special session, I don't know if you have anything else to add as far as your services, because you perform what? Methadone treatment.
We do methadone treatment, and basically, and believe me, we have, on a yearly basis, we wind up with about 120 applicants wanting to come in. And that's constant. The need for those services are very high. We have a huge epidemic of opiate use, and, we have a lot of people that go through the program. Some come out successful, and or they get incarcerated, they get, terminated from the program, and you see them out on the streets, begging in corners, it's a never ending.
Well, to all of you, we've asked them, and I'm glad you hear from SCAN as well, any updated data that you have, especially the success data, because we need to show that, because we can show the data of the problem. We have that, both on the law enforcement side and the health side. I mean, how much more can we tell you of the deaths that are occurring? 41 last year, the most we've had in 6 years. Most of them opioid. So the picture of the problem is there, and then you all have shared it. The other thing you asked us to find out, and legal has not gotten back, about the fundraising to incentivize stakeholders for the good work that they're doing, recognize them, and to also fundraise for the different services. So I'm waiting for their response on that. I don't know if anyone else has comments from the special session. But again, a lot of it is captured in the minutes. The other thing is the funding for your website, for the presentation that Mr. Pittman made. So I'm waiting for the response from legal, but you all are a commission authorized by council and the mayor. And literally what you do as a body, you could. It's just when you do it in the name of the city, then that's why we need legal's approval. But I think it was two good projects. One, the website, that he proposed, and two, then the incentive to thank the stakeholders for the good job that they're doing. So those two things, we're waiting for a response. Now, if the judge of his discretionary funds, wants to fund either one of those, they could too. Those are options, and these are things you all can discuss when we meet with Judge Tijerina and Mayor Steins and City Manager Leon. That's a quick summary, and plus what you've got in the minutes. I don't know if Scan wants to add anything, because you were here when we had the strategic meeting.
Yes. No, only one of the things that did stand out is the treatment providers working collaboratively.
Yes.
So that is actually something that we really should strive for. So at least we're making efforts. So I know I just reached out to Manny from Pillar to schedule a meeting, and I know he has a program, and I think it would fit really well with one of the programs that we have, almost like puzzle pieces. So yeah, that's something that we're looking forward to. As far as AMA, it's fluid. It's a back and forth. So
And thank you for mentioning that. Again, this is something you all, this commission has been going and bringing the groups together. So yes, and then that came out of the strategic planning of, again, meeting more and sharing what one isn't doing, then the other one complement each other. So that came out, so please thank you.
Anyone else?
Regarding the logo, is that something that the city does, or is that as a commission do we kind of start working on, or?
The city can't do it for you. If you have ideas on it, you want to draft something or design sketch, yes, that's yours. But the city can do it for you.
Okay. Now then, regarding the brochures and posters and flyers that we already had discussed, is that something that again comes from the city, or is that something that comes from?
No, the city will support you with that.
Okay.
So printing them, the information has to come from you, but printing them, designing them, paying for them, yeah, the city will do that.
And what is the time? A year?
I
A
don't
week?
know,
A
as soon as you
month?
have something, and you already have your Facebook page
Yeah.
posted, we're gonna link it to the city and the health department's webpage. So when they hit that, it'll have the link to the Drunk and Alcohol Commission and go straight to the Facebook. So as soon as you have the directory, the same thing. You all mentioned that it was still, it's a good piece and it's an updated, but it's big. So you all, again, in the strategic planning, you said maybe divide it and restructure. That's what the webmaster said, putting it in what he presented, so it's more user friendly.
Right.
That one does have a bigger cost, and so that one we presented to the city manager to look at it, how it could be funded. But you all were appointed by an individual councilman. These are things you can tell the councilman that appointed you, that even any resources to post that wonderful directory you updated, and I don't see if it's not publicized.
No.
So we need that, and yes, we're gonna need resources. I mean, the web-page presentation was excellent, but that one has a price.
I would recommend that we do take bids for that, because I know that there are other webmasters in Laredo that may be able to do it with a different idea in mind. And maybe perhaps with other graphics that we could be able to utilize. Yeah, and maybe at a budget, because I did think that it was very, very high up there.
It was high, and you're absolutely correct. If the city will pay, we have to bid it out. Mine is we're in January, the city starts putting in its budget in February. And that's what I'm saying,
Right,
now is
yeah.
the time for you to present, and that's why part of this meeting is to summarize your year-long activities. We're about to do your annual report to the mayor and city council, and in it, then your recommendations. One of them that has your priority, that has a price tag, is the detox. Yes.
When are we gonna get the teams together like we had discussed, the detox team one, we have this team two, and
That's up to you.
team three is transition living, so that we can tackle them, otherwise it's gonna stay spinning.
You won't decide the schedule to do that.
To make it a public outcry or a public outreach, I mean, so that people are going to know that we're trying to form these teams to help us get this off the ground. Can we do it now?
That, yes.
Yeah, we can do it now. I know we had talked about it in the past about doing teams, and me and Colleen had got together and we did the web page, and then we were gonna do, you know, what you had in mind about the residential, and another one for, we're all doing the detox one together, but, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. We can do it now, we're already here.
The longer we wait, the longer it's gonna take.
Yeah, we need to form a team.
And can we assign in absentia the people, the council members that are not here?
Yes, and that's a good question. We have two new council members. One, District 3, who doesn't have a member right now, and the new council member of the area does want to appoint someone. The council member, your council member, we're gonna meet with him next week because he's gonna talk to you. He didn't know that there was only one member, but as a new city council member, he does have the right to appoint someone else. But I can tell you that, you know, there's council member, District 3, Mercurio Martinez doesn't have someone. And you don't have to be in their
I
district.
was about to say, because I'm in his district.
Yeah, you don't have to be in their district. We got that clarified from the city secretary. So, they usually nominate you from their district, but you don't have to be. And so we're short already. District 3 doesn't have an appointment, and District 8, Councilman Bobby does not have a member either. All the rest of the council members do. And so even if Councilmember Marta Martinez would choose another person, then we would recommend your name if you want to continue to Councilman Bobby and Councilman Mercurio Martinez, because they need to designate someone. They have not. But the rest of the council members continue. So, and that's part of in new discussion for you all to decide. You're in this position as long as the council member is in, and when a new one comes in, they have the discretion to keep you or change you out. So most of you are in for another 4 years.
On that issue, or with that, is there an application process, or is that already over?
No, it's not over. You all who are stakeholders and providers, if you have someone to submit, please do so to the city secretary, and he'll share it with council. The only issue is that if you receive monies from the city for whatever program, then you can't nominate, which threw all of your agencies out, because we thought all of your agencies were great potential members, but because in one form or fashion, most of the agencies receive money from the city, you couldn't nominate.
And or will benefit from the detox center, or will put up a bid so that we can consider or assist in having to help the county or the city be able to push for it. So I would consider that maybe a conflict of interest.
And the city secretary screens for conflicts of interest. That's part of his job. He's got to screen. And so does the city attorney. They both screen the applications before they tell the council member and or the mayor, you can go ahead and approve it. And then, as you all know, you all take it out.
Okay, so what is the plan for the team?
I would want to be on the team that's prevention and work with the prevention aspect of the groups.
I'd be on transition because my daughter came out and because there was no family counseling, ex-husband takes in, so she probably's back to it after a whole year of, has a lot of waste on it. So everybody needs transition money. We have too many people out there.
And we're working on detox already, with prevention, with transition.
I'll be transition.
I can do outreach. I'm already doing some of that already with flyers and stuff like that. We already do visit schools and campuses already, trying to promote sobriety within our community. I already have those professional contacts, and I can just go on behalf of the commission. It'd be easy to get in there and set up a table and pass out stuff on behalf of our commission.
Is that team 1, 2, or 3?
Right now I have 3 that have been listed: prevention, a transition, and an outreach,
Detox,
And then the detox.
and then a detox.
so that's 4.
Working on
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
So is that gonna be 4 or 5? Cause outreach is gonna be a separate thing, or?
Well, prevention and outreach kind of go hand in hand.
Okay, so prevention and outreach are together. So we need somebody on transition, but somebody needs to be on transition team.
Or detox also.
Detox is Mr. Thompson, no?
Okay.
He's always.
What's the other component that's missing from their doctor?
Education.
That's what I was thinking, the last one.
Would that be
That's
also under
prevention.
prevention, outreach, and education?
It could go under prevention, yes. These are the main ones that you all have been talking about. Rehab would be the other one.
Well, I'd like to go with education and maybe work with the school counselors and so that we can set some sort of program up where they don't let us visit the schools anymore, because I know through Crime Stoppers, we used to do that with the elementary schools and they stopped us.
Well, maybe we could talk to them and find out if we can redo that. Why was that?
It was a state law about how many hours you have to be in class.
Well, maybe it could be an after-school thing.
They won't stay.
So the chair will be with
Thank you.
for the prevention and education.
Yes.
I think what we can do too is just draft a table, kind of with our sections on there, and then disperse it, kind of put there where you're gonna belong, so we all have.
So
Then
there's
we can start a meeting.
4 sections then?
So it's prevention, education, outreach, and then after that, I believe it's
Detox.
Detox?
Transition and rehab.
Detox, oh, in what order?
Rehab and then
Rehab, detox, and transition. Is
no,
that correct?
detox, rehab, and transition.
Detox, rehab, and transition, okay.
First is the prevention. Is there an intervention?
Well, that's what,
Oh,
but
okay.
maybe the intervention she mentioned, so where does intervention go in there?
Oh,
Is it
Treatment.
intervention should probably go through
Rehab.
rehab, right? Yeah.
So then that's after detox? Would intervention be before the
No,
detox?
intervention should be before.
Before detox,
We need to start at the elementary schools.
It actually initiates rehab.
right, that's
Yes.
right.
The intervention would be what initiates the rehab.
So
and then the
prevention,
detox.
outreach, education, and then intervention, and then it's detox,
Intervention, detox, and rehab.
rehab, and then the,
But all those
Transition.
fall under under prevention, don't those all fall under prevention?
Yes, but she's trying to do a timeline as to like an order.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now,
How
not
would we go?
everybody's gonna follow that particular order, but we wanna have an order.
Mm-hmm. So how many teams is that then?
I have 5.
5? What,
5.
what are they again? I'm sorry.
Prevention, education, and outreach are together. And then you go into intervention. And then you go into detox. And then you go into rehab. And then finally you have your transition.
Okay.
You know,
Hopefully
do you
that'll-
want, like, to put detox and rehab in one? Or no?
and see, and I would consider that to be is similar.
For that?
But you're all the professionals that work, so is
Well,
rehab
because,
and
you know, you have
Detox the
detox and you
same?
have rehab.
No.
Oh,
Separate?
Detox and rehab is not the same thing.
No.
Detoxification is simply getting the person to leave the
Clean.
drug out of their system, and then rehab, whether it's outpatient or residential, it's actually working with the individual using counseling approaches.
So that's not intervention? No?
No.
Okay. All right, so we have
So-
5.
Is there anything that's missing in that, in those, yeah,
A peer support group,
and where would that fall under?
aftercare.
The transition.
Transition.
So where,
Yeah, transition.
Aftercare.
The
so that
transition.
it'd be the proper word for transition aftercare,
Aftercare, yeah.
and aftercare would,
Well, transition living is one thing, and then aftercare will continue with counseling and all
Could be
that.
part while they're going through
Of
the transition.
transition.
peer,
Right.
Peer support.
Transition living.
Madam Chair, what we can do, and excellent recommendation, Mr. Lozano, is we'll do a matrix, a table with the groups you just mentioned and the names where others can fill in. Then we'll share it also with the experts, with the providers, so they can also look at it. Because we would encourage that the commission partner with providers
Of
too.
course, yes, it has to
Well,
include them.
well, and also you all had interns, right, at the university, so that they can maybe fit into some of these groups to help us get all that data, so that we can present all that to you. And that's from beginning to end, from how many people, what the cost is, and where, all of that.
Okay.
Turnkey, transition living,
But
or detox, or rehab.
We'll do a table with the groups and the members. Send it to you one more time to look at it, then we'll send it to the providers for them to comment as well. And ask them where they'd like to, if they want to participate in which group they'd like to participate.
And then we would meet separately.
Yes. Because there's a lot of work.
Yeah, because I think that right after rehab, it's very important that the family members, whoever are gonna be receiving or going into transition living or something like that, whoever is going to receiving that person, that they have family counseling and have the do's and don'ts. Don't give them their phone, you have it, don't. Try to make it as hard as you can to go back to that life instead of as easy as you can.
and I think that working with the different components, I think that would speed up the process that we've been kind of on the same wheel for a while already. But that can kind of already get us in motion. I actually jotted down some things that are coming up already. May is Suicide Awareness Month, and then April is Alcohol Awareness Month, so maybe perhaps with the education and the outreach and the prevention component, we could already start getting the Drug and Alcohol Commission into the community. And then that's the reason why I was asking about the flyer, the logos, and maybe the potential posters that we can already do. Because the Facebook won't go anywhere unless we're all promoting it one way, shape, or form, or there's something on there to actually promote. And I think that would be the resource to go in a quote unquote cheaper, less expensive than a website. So I'd want to try the Facebook for right now to push out
Facebook,
information.
Instagram, all that stuff. Because when you post on one, it posts automatically on the rest.
And we need to start like participating in Red Ribbon Week.
The only caveat with social media is that we're at the mercy of social media.
Yes.
So if Facebook decides for some reason to change their policies or whatever, we could be left out. I think it is important to have a website, but I agree with you if there are other webmasters that might be able to design something simple and easy to use.
Well, students even.
And yeah, the only thing with students is because they're there for that year, they'll do the project and they move on. And then you don't have anybody in place to you refer to do follow-ups or to fix it or to change or whatever. But if we have something static or something stable that we can control, I think that's a lot better. Now, I agree, social media is a good place to be and to get the word out, but it's the equivalent of advertising, but you still want to have your place, your headquarters.
Yes,
I believe that's what the website will be,
yes.
when we get something up. I mean, we can develop something simple. And there's templates out there, there's WordPress, Weebly,
Yeah.
all kinds of things that we can start.
Right.
Madam Chair, for the flyers, logos, and posters, the city can help. We just need, if you have ideas, designs, let us know.
Or even a contest to put out we're trying to do this, and each child or whatever.
Well, that may take a little bit longer. I think
you're right.
a standard logo for the commission, and then we could eventually grow for when like Red Ribbon Week comes around for a contest of some sort, or an essay question, or a contest of some sort. That I think that there's definitely room for that. But I think that the logo is very important, so that there is an image behind the Facebook or the website, or behind who we are.
Yeah, we have
So
to develop a
there needs to be
brand.
an identity. Yeah.
And the Facebook page you developed, you already have a picture, right?
It's the city of Laredo.
Well, you have the city of Laredo, but I thought you all developed also another, no? Okay.
No, it's the city of Laredo emblem. That's.
We'll work on the logo and send it out to you.
And is there a chance that the city will make us, instead of working with an outside webmaster, work with theirs? There's a chance.
There's a chance, yes.
That's what I thought.
And the city does have its IT department, and that will certainly cut costs as well.
Yes, it would cut costs, but my experience with bureaucracy is we're at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of what's important. It's first their bosses, the councilman and so on, and the administrators and department heads and all of that. And we'll be at the bottom, and how long is this gonna take? That's my fear.
Okay, then, I mean, it's your recommendation. So you just need to put it down.
Photoshop, do it ourselves. Do it in the office.
But we also want it to be effective.
Yes, we don't, yes.
I don't want to make,
Good one.
and we can always start it. It can pilot and, it can be operational for whoever, but eventually we're going to want it where people, where it's,
Yeah, we can do it on an organic one until you develop something more
But the most
professional.
important, which is the directory, needs to be workable, easy to use, easy to find things, otherwise it's not gonna work. So we do need someone very capable, but I don't wanna wait a year.
Is this directory gonna be printed in digital or in both forms? Or what are we shooting for?
Right now, the directory, Madam Chair and members, is available. We've been disseminating it out a little bit to the schools who had asked. We just give them the link, a link, and then it takes them to where we put it on our webpage.
Can we link it to Facebook?
Yes, that's the way you want it, yes.
So that way we can just have them open it right then and there?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
But still, again, it's very bulky, very hard to find, it's not easy to find what you need at this point in
Well,
it,
see,
it's too long.
The directory was intended for it to be used by the different stakeholders or resources, so that they can guide themselves in having to say, well, look, I can't help you, but I know somebody who can, and then go from there. Now, with the Facebook, the idea behind that, and as we discussed, is that because there are too many in the directory, we wanted to showcase and highlight individual stakeholders or groups. So that's when I had mentioned, when can we go to SCAN and maybe do like a video and show pictures of people working in some other programs. I know SCAN has, in February coming up, they have a bunch of, you have the monologues, and you have some other stuff going on for sexual assault. So those are things that will go on there, so that it kind of starts having some activity and some form of shares and likes, and then going to going to AMA and maybe putting a quick fact on there. I tried doing it where I researched it and I was like really getting into it, and I was like, okay, do I put this information, or I'd rather get it from the actual stakeholders? Like, for example, AMA that says, we serve a 23 bed, or we have 23 people in the wait list, and we'll be happy to serve you, or quick little bullet points or facts, and then we can go from there. And I think that that's how it's going to be able to disseminate. Now, another idea that is also very free and maybe able to be workable is having to go to the media. going to either KGNS, Telemundo, Univision, and doing not maybe weekly, because it may be too much, but maybe bi-weekly, where a representative from the commission goes with a stakeholder to talk about what's going on or what resources are for the community. And I'm pretty sure the stakeholders have done that, but if there's again, the image, the branding, the identity of the city with the community, then it might be a little bit influential, I
Well, they'll
guess.
do it for free PSAs.
Yeah,
For the city.
but again, that's where most definitely these teams are already kind of being constructed and being motivated to actually get some stuff done, and then going from there. So that way, these meetings are more productive than anything.
We'll start reaching out, Chair, to Medium. As soon as you all tell me to go, then we'll reach out to them to start setting something up. As far as the Facebook page, well, you tell us and we'll put the link there to open it up. It is large, but right now,
That's what we have.
that's what we have.
That's okay. People scroll till they find what they need. Can you index it? It has that index,
Yes,
right?
yes, that we can do.
Can you dashboard it, put a little dashboard?
So we can do that already.
Yeah, then
So you
that
can
should
put it
help.
on, then you're right, Ms. Rodriguez is right, that initially it was so the stakeholders could have it.
Yeah.
And then you all did say the schools, and we've shared with some members of the schools, and they liked it, because they said, I needed something
Yeah.
that has the information of who's doing what,
can
the
help.
numbers. So we actually showed it to both school nurses, and the school district, the Nation Union School District, and they liked it.
Yes. Very informative.
But then we need to take it a step further with the education and prevention, and actually go to the schools and talk to the kids about it, because in the hands of the counselors or nurses, it's one thing.
They asked, but I think like SCAN goes to the schools, ¿verdad?
Yes, the prevention programs do go to the schools.
And so there's the
We can,
piggybacking and
yes, we
and
can,
who's
so
already
that not
doing
everybody's
that.
going, and then they're gonna say, well, there's too many days of lost pastime, which is what they always told us. So, yeah, let's partner,
Yeah.
see who goes, who does presentations, and it's in one together.
In this case, they both asked, can you make presentations?
Yes,
School nurses did ask.
that's, at what level?
We didn't get into that detail, but they did ask, one, did they like the directory? Two, can you make presentations?
Because prevention should start like at elementary school, actually.
Elementary.
Because through Crime Stoppers in the campus, we used to get, we had one, I think it was 5th grade, it's been a while since I retired, that came in with a, something like $4,000 worth of the cocaine and rock,
In 4th grade,
and he was coming to like show.
show and tell.
Yes. He wasn't trying to sell it or anything. It was something that was at home, and this is what we do, and this is what I had at that age. I'm not gonna mention schools, but yes, and everything's covered up. No, that's okay, mijito. Thank you for bringing it, and they take it away.
Just to let you know, Westcare got a grant, and it's for drug, alcohol prevention outreach for youth and community. And so we have a national campaign, National Drug Facts Week campaign that we've already, or in the action plan with UIC, with a 78046 zip code. So we're gonna be doing that week-long activity from the 22nd to the 27th of January. And we're gonna be using the opiate project for Gateway to do that format, and then also some other video relays that we're gonna get through that campaign through Samsung for the grant. So just to let you know.
Okay, and that's something else we can still work with education and prevention
Right.
together with,
Right.
and just work with all of our stakeholders. But, going back to what's happening at the elementary, there were, in terms of bells being brought to school to show and tell, or the ammunition, and so on. There's lots of horror stories that happened that was never publicized. We can't publicize. And so, yes, we need, it has to start at the elementary level. I would say 3rd grade.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
And if they already said yes, that's our foot in the door.
yes.
The door is cracked open. So, what are you gonna do? Put the template together, that matrix, or what did you say you were gonna do so that we can wait on it?
For the different work groups, we're gonna develop a table and send it to you with the members, so you all can look at it one more time. And then, Mr. Thompson's not here, he's in the detox. Then give it to the providers, the stakeholders, for them to look at it
Mhm.
and see where they wanna partner as well. So that's your teams.
And you're not limited to one.
Okay.
We can partner in different, if they have stuff at their programs that they can partner with this one and that one and that one, plus then we can do it.
We'll do that, then we'll develop a logo, send it to you all, see what you think, change, revise. And then we'll make sure that the link is there for the directory on the Facebook. So I send you the link.
And for the posters, you said that the city would help make them. Is that designing them? Do we just kind of make a sketch or something on the
If
computer?
you all have a sketch, a design that you prefer, send it to us, and if not, we can design something and then send it to you.
Okay.
Both ways. We can do something and send it to you. If you have something, send it to us.
Okay, because I really like the idea of that. I ordered online. Samsung gives out a lot of free
Yes.
material, free readings. I ordered over 100, articles of publication, posters. There were some cool posters that they had. They're real big. I want to take them to the schools. It's a vending machine. It's got a football, baseball, a little guitar in there. So with so many things to do, no wonder kids don't do drugs. So I wanted to do something kind of like that on behalf of us. But on the bottom it'll say brought to you by, our commission. So that's why I asked if I have to create that. That's a little hard, but I can, if we can get together with some ideas, and then with those, at least we can post them. They can post them in their cafeterias. They can post them in their hallways. If we wanted to start as early as the elementary school, and that way we can get them for different grade levels. So, you're not putting, something that's too advanced in an elementary school where they can't comprehend it. Okay.
All right, then do we go on to the next one?
Madam Chair, on the next bullet, we had invited Judge Tigarina, we had invited Mayor Pete Sines, and the city manager. All three of them had other commitments, so could not. They just did send Ms. Cadena, who's the Director of Imaging Care Services for the county. But we do have a confirmed meeting Wednesday at 9:30 in the judge's chambers with the mayor and the judge. And so at this point, the people I told him would attend would be the chair, the vice chair, the mayor, and the mayor's taking his assistant. And I don't know who the judge will have as well.
The money man.
And then Chief Torres is invited to the meeting, and myself. But you all are the commissioner. If everyone wants to go, Ms. Cadena's right, we just need to tell the judge so he can have a room to accommodate, so.
Is the city manager not able to go?
He's got it on the calendar, but he's not confirmed. But I can tell you, he's committed to this. Because in part, the impetus for the commission was the city manager to the council. So, no, he's committed.
Right.
So he should be there, but if he doesn't, the mayor will be speaking on behalf of the city. But the mayor is committed, he's confirmed, and the judge is confirmed. This came from his office. So,
Well, I think the invitation should go out to the entire commission. We've all worked on this together from day one. And those who cannot go because of their job responsibilities, we understand that, but if you can get away, play hooky, whatever, then
I thought
Mine-
that an email had gone out, an invite. Did it go out to everybody?
No,
Did I see some, I don't know, I wanna say I saw something,
the
Was it-
invite went with the chair and vice chair, the judge and the mayor.
okay.
That has gone out as a reminder. But we'll resend it out with every commission member.
Right.
everyone who can be there on the commission,
Yes.
please show up, because there's fourths and numbers too, you know,
Yes.
that's,
Then Ms. Galena, can you relay that?
Yes,
There'll be
definitely.
more.
His office maybe accommodates 12 people, the conference room in his
Well,
office.
the commission is 7.
Okay,
Mayor,
so we can get a definite number so I can,
Yeah, I will get that to you. But it just grew from 5 to,
and then I wanna make it where the mayor can just, cause we can always have it at my department, but it's a few blocks away. So I think I'd rather keep it in the courtroom, maybe in the, I'll talk to the judge's
yeah, the
office.
courtroom is.
well, if you would do us the favor of relaying it to Judge Tijerina, because we can also move it to a bigger space at City Hall.
City Hall,
But
okay.
we confirmed him, and he's the one who said, you know,
I'll be the
we'll
host.
do it, I'll be the host.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So from here, who do you think will make it? Who will be able to make it to the meeting?
At 9:30 in the morning.
When is it in the morning?
Next Wednesday, the 16th, 9:30 a.m.
Yeah,
9:30?
9:30, is that correct?
yes,
And I'm triple checking.
yes, that's what it
Yes, it was
says.
9:30.
9:30.
9:30 to 10:30.
I didn't see
The
the
judge
can
calls
part.
it the war room.
Yes,
It's,
very friendly place though.
Okay.
I've been in the war room, so. And the other item, Madam Chair, the gaps, the data, you've been discussing that part of it, is going to address it with the groups.
That's it. Very good.
I don't know the stakeholders, because that's.
Yeah, that's number 5. Yes.
Have any updates?
Okay, staff and stakeholder updates, anybody? That we can take to this meeting, from besides what we talked about in December, last year?
Anything
Well,
new?
this is just program updates, just to give you a program update. Well, we have the Next Step project, which is the homeless project, and that's gonna end in October of 2019. So our next step towards that is to approach the city, the community development, to see if they have any fundings locally, to see if we can continue at least for 2019, 2020, so that we can, after 2020, reapply for the THM, the HUD grant. If not, we're gonna have 20 individuals that are gonna be out in the community again, homeless. And so that would cause more problems for police, more problems for the hospitals and other situations, because right now we have them in a controlled environment with case management. So really, we're looking at even approaching the mayor, the county, and seeing if we can get some partners to help us continue this project. That's number one. The other thing I wanted to announce is I'm officially retiring again. And the Lord gave me some miracles this last 2 months, physically, through some issues I was going through. And so I'm going into full-time ministry at Holding. And so with that, Ricardo's going to be taking the West Care position for the drug-free communities that I was talking about. And also, right now, he's the interim for the West Care. So I want to send an invitation, and I still want to be part of this committee on a personal, as a board member for Holding. So I'll send you my personal email.
And this is when, Commissioner?
Officially at the end of this month.
At the end of this month.
Very well.
Congratulations.
And I have an announcement about one of our members who has been selected, Ms. Colleen Rodriguez, to be the municipal court judge.
Congratulations.
Go ahead and tell us the story.
I've been working very closely with El Cenizo for the last 2 years, and it's very dear to my heart. And so I reached out to the new individuals who, or actually they reached out knowing that I had been reaching out to wanting to do more outreach in that area. And so they kind of sat down with me and they asked me what I had in mind for the city. And so with my background, they had considered that I'd be the best person suitable for municipal judge in their city.
I got something. You know, Richard Raymond, he is, the new session starts now in 2019. And my wife and I have been working for years on this bill. It's been introduced since 2009. This is for repeat offenders. And this is the bill, what it consists is to identify repeat offenders after their second conviction. And she knows after the third one, they're history. So we tried in 2009, didn't make it, and 11, so the session starts now. So I was thinking, I talked to Dr. Gonzalez, maybe we as a commission send a letter to Richard Raymond that we support. You remember how we met? We've had meetings year after year.
It was a while back.
We got to the point where we almost gave up. But he's pushing it again in this session more, so hopefully we can, assert him that there is support.
Okay.
And all it is identification and maybe get some help. Because my wife and I, we sat with Judge Lopez a few years back, and there's some communities here in Texas that have little groups. They hold the offender for about a 5-year period of counseling and all that until they actually, they're free to go alone and they don't go back to drinking. And you have a lot of them that go through your where they come back.
Yes, sir.
And just yesterday we had a class and one of the person, I said, we have another one just come back, so he'd probably be another customer to.
Yeah, I see them on the blotter. They're there. They got in my program a year, 2 years, and they're there on the front page again.
I mean, the problem is there. The education we're lacking. The awareness. And we're a culture that we like to.
Well, I think certainly that as a commission, we should support it. It is Drug and Alcohol Commission.
And the things, I tried to print the bill, but it hasn't posted yet. The session, everything's closed until January 15th.
Well, let's make sure the letter's there by the 15th.
Madam Chair, then if the commission, you want to take a vote to do it, we'll draft the letter, we'll call Representative Raymond's office to get the number of the bill so we can cite it and get the letter for you and the vice chair to sign, and we'll send it off.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Call for a vote.
Good.
I vote
Everyone in favor of sending this letter out?
yes.
Well, we need a motion
We
first,
need a
right?
motion
Okay.
and a second.
I motion.
A second.
Okay. Call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Perfect. We have a lot, we're on a roll. We have a lot of good news.
Yes.
That's actually a good segue for what I was concerned about, is you were talking about approaching the council members that appointed us individually. Is there a template or a letter in place that we can follow or something, or do you want us to create something?
We can, there is them, but we can create one and send it to you. We are, and I was gonna mention it in today's meeting, preparing the annual, we prepare a report of everything you've done twice a year, one in June and one is due now. And so we're preparing the annual report, and so that'll be a summary of everything, but that's your report with recommendations. So we need the time to give the recommendations as officially, because this report becomes record of the city. And as far as making individual commission recommendations or appointed to, we can draft something up.
Okay.
And give it to you.
I've already discussed what
Yes,
we've been doing.
he already approached me. So he said, yes, I already met with my.
And then he was going to be speaking, because we were at the same dinner party with Mercurio Martinez.
Okay.
And he was gonna be speaking to Mercurio to come on board with us.
Yeah, he already told me. So
Yes.
he's heard, he's listened to his designee.
That's right.
Doctor, I think also my term has expired as well. I was with Alex Pettis. So,
Oh, then Mercurio Martinez, he can reelect you.
well, he can. It would be nice, but we're thinking about things. I think mine is the head of the chopping block.
Okay. Well,
Both of us.
I have to, because we haven't even closed on that.
But we have to word it in a way to where it would look bad if they cut you off.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
We have to
is
say,
that-
due to all of their experience.
Yes.
And
They're
how
on
much
the
they have
road.
worked and how much has been
Yes.
produced.
The momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we did talk about in the
momentum.
beginning. We didn't. I talked about with Karina a lot when we met about the Facebook page. We just, even if we got replaced, we just wanted to make sure that it would just keep going.
Follow up.
You know, all of our work. I mean, we're doing
But
it.
you wanna stay though, right?
Well, of course,
Oh,
we want
right.
to stay, but
We have to approach, the city secretary already approached them, if they wanna designate or continue if someone's there. So it's their call, they have not responded. I know with Councilman Martinez, we have a meeting next week exactly on this issue. He wanted a report from the commission and who was the current member.
And what we've done, you need to have it all
And so,
nicely packed.
yes, both your councilmen are new, and so they may want, but we still have two other councilmen who haven't
and
designated.
however it plays out, I'll still be here as a stakeholder. I mean, I'd still be part of this commission.
So if you all are okay, we can tell them that you still, one, would want to stay, and two, if they designate someone, that you can be considered by the other council member.
Okay.
Manager, announcement, I wanted to share something, using you all as an example. We had a long meeting with the University of Texas Health Science Center of San Antonio. They've got a $10 million Centers for Disease Control opioid reduction program in San Antonio. And they're doing several things. One of the major ones is exactly what Ms. Rodriguez mentioned, is they put, and they call it a citywide task force. The citywide task force is already the commission, you all are it. When I met with them, I told them, and because they were looking to partner with Laredo and other border communities, in working with, it's not only called a task force here, it's you all, I talked about you all, and the media to develop stigma reduction and education and what substance use and opioid use is, because the public doesn't know. And then it has a second part to it. Not only does the public not know, and then there's a stigma if you do know. Nobody wants to treat someone with addiction. But now we've got patients with pain that aren't being treated because the doctors are afraid to prescribe. So we gotta educate the doctors on responsible prescription. And so the media blitz that San Antonio has been doing is twofold. Talk to your doctor. Doctors, you need to educate your patient. I'm only giving you 10 pills for pain and you need to take them this way. And if your pain still continues, then you and I need to sit down again instead of giving you 30 pills. And that's against the law now. Nobody gives you.
That's good.
But the public also needs to learn about the stigma that addiction is a disease and we need to treat it.
Yeah.
And so they want to come to Laredo to partner with us and
That's
even.
wonderful, we'll take $1 million.
Even,
Yeah. Or
you
two.
beat me to the line,
Or three
even
for now,
sharing
right.
resources.
That's
Right.
wonderful.
So
That's
we're
great.
trying to set it up. The researcher from the Health Science Center is Dr. Potter, who ran the state program, the state opioid program for North Carolina. They recruited her, so she comes with a lot of experience. And really, we have to thank Dr. Francisco Sierra, because he recruited the new dean of the medical school, and when he told him, he said, "You need to work with Laredo."
Wonderful.
So he's Francisco's coming late in March and gonna go around the different providers, bringing all of these researchers, Dr. Potter in particular, and the new dean of the medical school. But Dr. Potter's already gonna come. We're gonna set up a meeting. In fact, she and I are gonna talk Monday Because when I told her about the commission, of what we were doing, she said, we need to partner, because they want to do the media, education, and physician education through the commission here in Laredo. And they have resources, they have 10 million.
That's,
Awesome.
that's great news.
Yes,
So,
very good.
so that's a credit to you, because we talked about what you've been doing, and Chief Torres and I were talking about you all as well. We did a little segment on opioid issues here on the border, because Fox and National NBC was here for many things, so we talked about you all there too, as well. The second thing is that we're so short in psychiatrists
Yes.
that the health department opened up 3 weeks ago through a private contractor, a telemedicine psychiatrist, and in 3 weeks, we've seen 30 patients.
Telemedicine.
So if someone does need psychiatric consultation, medication, we do have, we started with 1 day a week. I think we're gonna do it now 2 days a week. Border Region also increased from 12 telemedicine psychiatrists to 14, because the demand is so great. And we don't have anyone in private practice right now. The 3 private psychiatrists are in Border Region. I don't know, do you all have a psychiatrist in contract?
Yes. Mero Sanchez.
Oh, okay,
I thought you retired.
but retired and is working with SCAN, which is good, because we need them. But
He's retired but working with SCAN now?
Contract.
Oh.
And the only child psychiatrist, Dr. Rivera, is working for Border Region. And so we desperately need a child psychiatrist, we desperately need a psychiatrist for private practice, but at least now for the public side, Border Region increased theirs, and then we have one. So if someone needs.
What about counseling, not psychiatry? just
Well, counseling, SCAN has,
Just- okay.
a good set, Gateway now has, Pillar now has counselors, Border Region, and then you're seeing 2 of our counselors here.
Are they going to the jails every day?
I know Pillar does, and
Okay.
and SCAN does have a program doing that, and we need to continue.
That's great.
To do that.
Thank you.
And we're about to hire, Monday he starts at a brand new counselor as well,
Great.
a licensed professional counselor.
An LPC.
Is there still erasing barriers?
Yes, yes.
No, but there's you want to, Dennis mentioned the new project that
Yes.
kind of replaces erasing barriers.
Okay, no, and I bring it up because in court, they were gonna recommend one of the clients to erasing barriers, but the probation officer is very adamant, they're like, no, doesn't exist anymore.
They
Yeah.
do.
Well, there's other
Pretty
ones, can
bummed
we
out.
talk something out?
But yes, actually this Monday we are rolling out a new SAMHSA grant that they received. It's very similar to erasing barriers, so we will be providing the same services. So you can go ahead and let them know, and maybe our new LPC can go and present to the probation officers, because I know we did that a couple of years ago.
That'd be
They were
good, and then
sending out
add
a
them
lot
to
of
the
our-
directory,
Yes.
they're not already
Add to the directory?
on them.
So that's what we wanted to share with you, Madam Chair, and to the commission.
That's very good. We're moving forward. We're taking big strides. Talking about, someone who's got 10 million and wants to join, that's wonderful. We'll take, like I said, $1 million, but if they want to give us $500,000, well, we can start there. But yes, that we appreciate whatever we can get.
We'll let you know, we have a phone conference meeting Monday.
Okay. And whatever you need from us, we'll be there.
Yes.
We'll send out also the reminder for the Wednesday
Right.
meeting. Again, so everybody has the information. And then again, Ms. Cadena, if you can share with the judge the group at large.
Okay. I'm sure you all want to wait for the next meeting to give the judge and the mayor like details on data. You all have that? Yes, okay, good. And then, just for my FYI, when was this commission established? How long have you all been meeting? A year, a few years?
About a year.
Almost a year.
This is meeting number 12.
This is meeting number 12. We started, like in October, right, last year?
And then for what you all are planning or proposing, is it a facility, is it services? You all have different plans?
All of
There's
the
just one
above.
plan?
There's a plan already, and it's for both a facility, a 12-bed detox facility and the operations.
Okay.
Chief, anything you want to add?
Well, not really, just two of the teams are named themselves for the education and prevention. Later on, when the team gets solidified, we can coordinate with police department, CRU, the community relations unit. Say every October and November, they go out and reach out to 42 schools in the city of Laredo, and they do deliver an anti-drug, anti-use of narcotics, and start on all type of message to elementary age schools and middle schools. So that's already in place, it's been done for the past few years, but the commission and LPD joining in efforts in that team will give it a multi as a county city project.
So bring back maybe the Shattered Dreams, that was pretty cool. I remember
Yes,
when I
that was good. It was through, Shattered Dreams was through Texas Department of Transportation and Protector. We would partner with schools, high schools, and gather a group of kids to act out what happens when you drive drunk and then somebody in the vehicle or maybe two people are killed. And then all of the seniors have to come watch it right before the prom to make sure they don't drink and drive. And some of them end up crying. They're crying there as they're watching it. And then the next day, we bring in a casket because we have some of our funeral homes that participate. And the parents have to talk about how they feel having lost their child.
And they have a sleepover at night, the
Yes.
school that is hosting, because we have participated with Officer Diaz.
Yes.
And so my husband and I have gone every night we don't stay at the sleepover, thank God, but we're there, they have the pizza,
Yes.
and we do the presentation.
And the kids are asked that evening when we stay overnight. Well, I used to. I'm retired. When we stayed overnight, the kids are asked to write a letter to their parents about how they feel about having died in an accident. It's very, very,
It's impactful.
very impactful.
To this day, I still have my mother's letter, and I'll read it occasionally, and it did make a significant impact.
Wow. Yes.
The idea has already been, it's not even just an idea, it's already been delivered. We can just kind of find a way to bring it
Yes,
back.
because the funding stopped, right?
Yes.
It costs.
The fund,
Yes.
see, it does.
It costs.
It does, and we did get a lot of free stuff, like the funeral home didn't charge us and so on and so forth, but it's expensive to produce. We have to buy material to make them all look bloody and dead and so on and so forth. And the pizza, the stuff.
Well, and
It's not ketchup.
Officer Diaz is no longer,
No.
right, Chief?
No, he's not, and the CRU, the Community Relations Unit, he was
You moved to staff.
transferred back to Patrol Division. On the same topic, this morning we were talking at the city staff, the police department, to initiate a new program with more efforts in laser accuracy to enforce the traffic laws in the city of Laredo. We closed the year in 2018 with 32 fatalities. And that's too many fatalities for a city like this, and traffic-related deaths, and of course there's a combination. It's speed, it's alcohol, it's distracted driving, it's
Racing.
it's racing, it's pedestrians crossing when they're not looking. So that from 17 we closed it with 26,
And now we're
and then
32.
you crossed the 30s. Even though homicides were reduced, fatality rated, but then, and of course it's not only a police problem, but the education portion of it is very important to see
And-
people abide by.
And I'm sorry, Chief, but what stopped also is the PSAs, and you no longer see the don't drink and drive except for Mr. Alanis when it comes out Super Bowl.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
there's more drinking after Super
Then,
Bowl than
yes.
there is, so, before they used to have, like the billboards and all that, they're not there.
Yeah.
So that's why, Madam Chair, Chief Thomas is saying that they're all breaking up. One of them is the prevention education, is to revive message.
But where do we get the money? We have to ask. They made a commission with no money.
You have free access to public access, but yeah, to buy paid time.
Yeah, no, I want those. Out
But
there
I
in the
thought that was a
streets.
PSA, like they would do it.
And we should do at least those. Those are free.
To the
that
city,
have
yeah.
PSAs to the city's public access.
And also the ads that the city buses, the metro,
También.
put on the side of the buses, it's free as long as it's a public announcement for the Paramount community. And of course, Robert and Charles runs that company and offered it to us, and we used it a couple of times for Casa Misericordia, the anti-domestic violence type of thing. The anti-out of that burglary, kind of raise the issue with the public that when they see the bus pass by, remember to do this and this, and of course, who will reach out to. That'll be another way that you guys can reach out to.
But the billboards also.
And the benches.
What about
Definitely.
approaching those outdoor advertising billboards? The ones that are empty
Electronic.
right now. No, the ones that are empty that they say, hey, caught you looking. So
Yes.
this works.
Yeah.
Well, instead of that, they could have, a
PSAs.
PSA, and then on the bottom say this space available or whatever.
Right.
And then they could just have it available on their log. So if anybody says, hey, I want that space, or they want a space, it'll be listed as one available. But while it's not, it could be delivering the
That's a
message.
great idea.
We have to wait for permission.
No, we can ask.
Oh, we can
Okay.
ask. Good.
Okay, because I'm ready to jump and go ask.
Yes.
Okay. I have a few connections. I have a few people that I can talk to.
This public access, can they leave from their department and do filming and stuff
Right
like
here.
that? But I mean, can they technically go to the
Yes.
stakeholders and do maybe small clips of what there is?
If it's coming to you all, you're the city commission, you're the city sanctioned. So if you say we're gonna do an event at SCAN, we just have to program it with them.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Leal, if you know him, is
Yes.
the director of PAC. We're just short staffed, so if any event or anything you want to do, just make sure there's a little bit of time, and he'll be more than happy to do it. That's all it is. It's just you just have to ask, and
Coordinate.
we'll make ourselves available.
Maybe starting off there and going then with all the other stuff.
What do you have in mind, if I may ask?
No, all of that. For the actual public access, with Crime Stoppers, what I've been doing, and the idea is there, is that we go to different areas or we interview different people and talk about what they're doing. And so if we do have the access with public access, then the idea is to showcase some of their staff, some of their projects, some of the things that they do year round.
So
Like a summary video
individually, or like a video collage of all the stakeholders?
of all the stakeholders.
PSA is only 30 seconds. I
Yeah.
think we need to
Yeah,
focus on one at a time.
Yeah, but I think she's thinking of something a little bit,
yeah,
longer.
it's like a video, like 2-minute thing.
Yeah.
It's not a PSA.
That then we can post on Facebook,
Yeah.
on our website, on other social media.
It's a highlight video. Like for example, I mean, and I talk about SCAN because that's the one that I'm more familiar with. But I'll give you an example with the erasing barriers, right? So it's not there anymore. Now there's a new program. So let's introduce the program. And let's talk to the people that are doing the program and let's ask them how does it work and how is it going to impact, the community. Who is eligible for this program? It's more of like an interview, more of a showcase, highlight, but making it, interactive and enough to like have people tuned in. Not something that's going to turn them off and say, I'm not going to pay attention because I don't care to listen to somebody, blah, blah, blah. But, starting off with something like, okay, well, do you know that, again, it's always a fact. It's always something, hit them with the truth and letting them know, like, did you know that X amount of people died in the city of Laredo because of, such and such thing? And then that gets them, like, turned on and, ready to, like, listen. And then we showcase a program or a stakeholder with a program or something. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll have to repeat some of the stakeholders several times because they do have a lot of stuff. But again, it's just having to do more awareness.
Madam Chair, I think that's a great, the other committee in New York City that I work with is the people, the Mayor's Blue Ribbon Committee for People with Disabilities. PSA did a wonderful, that keeps showing, that one was a minute about parking in designated areas, and very effective. It had police officers in there too, and that was done by public access.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
going
you
out
did
to
work
the
with them
sides,
before.
then we taped another one going to the Cherish Center. With what UISD has a simulated teaching for kids with disability, one that's a hotel, one that is a kitchen, where they're training the kids for a job outside, and these are kids that all have different disabilities, from wheelchair bound to not. So we went and taped the session there, because the message was, look at what they're doing, we need someone to hire them.
Yes.
And so your idea of taking them to the different groups so they know what services are.
And
is a
even,
good one.
and,
We
and
just
even
need to program it.
testimonies, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's really good, there's people that have actually rehabilitated and they're doing really good in the community. So hearing from them would actually showcase like, hey, the program works, or I really can get through this. It's not, a lifetime problem, it could, the situation can change. And so even testimonies with somebody from all the different areas.
And
I'm pretty sure if, somebody from AMA maybe knows somebody that might want to speak on camera, or even at that, they can blur out and just the voiceover.
Right.
That's very powerful. The third PSA that was done, but that one in coordination with Laredo Community College, was a young man in a wheelchair saying, this is who I am, but look at everything, and he's doing the job. And so that, we've gotten comment that was very powerful. And so you have personal testimonies making a big.
So I think starting from there before actually targeting other things, I mean, I'm pretty sure those are all gonna be works, but if we already have, the resource of using public access and use it as of right now, so we can start showcasing and then start telling everybody, hey, this is why we need money, because we need to be able to put it up on a billboard, or this is why we want to be able to.
Well, the chair already committed that she's ready, so we'll contact Mr. Leal to coordinate a time and get one of you to just telling them what this commission is doing, and about the directory, and about the wonderful program that we already have. People don't know that.
And I would like a PSA, se me quedó, what Chief said about the age of opioid deaths that started with a 1-year-old and up to in the 70s. That stayed in my mind, and I would like to start off a PSA with something like, did you know that children as young as 1 have died from opioid? That would be very powerful. And show a baby, blur the face.
One of the things that I work with opiate addiction on a daily basis, but one of the things that impacted me a lot last year was I was doing a group session and there were only 3 people. So I said, let's start by talking about, what addiction and at what age you started. And I had 2 guys and 1 female who was 8 months pregnant, 19-year-old. And when I came around the circle and I asked her, she lowered her head and she says, well, I use heroin. I said, and what age did you start? She said, at the age of 6. I nearly fell off my chair. I said, I couldn't, just, how? Why? How was I cannot see a 6-year-old using heroin. And I said, how? Just, well, both my parents were addicts, so they used to give it to me so I could stay out of their way. There's been so many tragedies and stories from clients. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, children are born with withdrawal symptoms.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that continues the cycle and some of them that. Before we close, I'd like to do a referral. I received a phone call at my office of a parent asking for help on their son who is addicted to Xanax and alcohol and stuff like that. And I did say this to him: when I get your name and your phone number, refer you to SCAN that I've heard you guys have outreach programs. And I want to give you that information before we close, so you can have that to assign or clear it through your organization and have someone call this man and ask him the details and what are the situations out there at their home, and maybe establish some kind of a, assistance for.
We can get it done as soon as tomorrow.
Okay, I'll pass you the information as we close this meeting, but I just wanted to inject this before we adjourn.
Anything else? Okay, then we have a lot of things to get done for the next meeting. And let's get going, it's a new year.
New year, we gotta make it happen.
All right.
Motion to
Meeting
adjourn.
adjourned.
Yes.
Can I have a first, a second?
Second.
Third, motion approved. It's over.